final score, USC Trojans 31, the Sun Devils 26. Zach Keenan and Andrew Bell with the final score here. And post-game report from Sun Devil Stadium. Andrew, the Sun Devils got off on the wrong foot today, and they didn't have a lot of time to recover, did they?
No, just that first quarter ends up being really the difference in this football game. If you look at 3 quarters of play, and there's still some miscues along the way, but all in all, it wasn't terrible football. But that first quarter, they didn't come ready to play, and it wasn't the effort that they needed kind of coming out of the gate. They just let Kadon Slovis kind of just get all over the place. They had no pressure on the quarterback. USC's receivers, who had been the focal point all weekend, were getting wide open looks. They're separating, getting off blocks, and getting off, or just beating guys really out of their breaks. And it really, like I said, ASU wasn't ready from the get-go, and ends up being the difference in a game like this where they only scored 3 points. Really, the rest of the way is 28-7 after the first quarter. And to ASU's credit, they respond, but just that first quarter, that was really where all heck kind of broke loose for the Sun Devils.
And after that first quarter is when Joey Yellen really showed up, and Sun Devil fans as well as spectators got to see he does have a remarkable arm. And I think he did have a solid game. What do you think about his game?
I thought for a first collegiate start, I know Jaden Daniels and his first collegiate start this year, wasn't the best performance. Joey Yellen came out and, he did everything you could ask for. Of course, he has a couple turnovers. He ends up throwing the interception that ends the game. But all in all, it's a pretty impressive performance. There's a lot of drop passes today as well. A lot that I thought could have been hauled in. And even on some of the deep balls, they got called back due to penalties, things like that. I still thought he played a really good football game. And it's no surprise, really. These are the 2 guys that Herm brought in coming into the season, and they knew that they had 2 quarterbacks who had kind of won the battle. If you ask anybody who saw fall camp, who saw spring ball, they knew that Joey Yellen was going to be a heck of a player too. So all in all, I thought he played pretty well today, and his pocket presence is really what impressed me. He's really good in the pocket. He doesn't have the legs that Jaden Daniels has, but he could feel pressure coming. He stepped up. He'd move up in the pocket, slide to his right, move out when he had to. Made a few dangerous throws, obviously a couple interceptions to go along with that, and I think that's something you'll clean up. That's what you expect out of a freshman, though. But all in all, like I said, a pretty good performance. Just didn't get it done in the end. And like I said, it's a freshman quarterback and still a lot to learn, but a lot to grow off of from this first game.
Yeah, and with a good stat line to his name, there's not much bad things you can say about Joey Yellen after that game, but you did mention those drop balls. And I do want to ask you all about those mistakes, because there were a lot of mistakes, Andrew. There were a lot of pointless penalties, a lot of drops on offense, and some others, no?
Yeah, there definitely was, and I think the penalties were, miscue both ways too. USC had some costly penalties down the stretch that almost cost them. You think about that last drive where they're trying to ice it out, they end up having to punt it away because of a chop block call, and there's a lot of missed opportunities. You think of ASU, Kyle Williams on a 3rd down has maybe a first down, it slips out of his hands. Tommy Hudson down at the end of the game, and so when you look at it, yeah, the interception ends up sealing it for the Trojans, but there were different points in this game along with the first quarter where there was just too many missed opportunities on the board. Even a missed extra point by Christian Zendejas, who has been, money kind of all season, ends up costing the Sun Devils in the long haul. But I do have to say, out of all the drop passes, things like that, Brandon Ayuk didn't have a big game receiving day, but special teams, he was fantastic. Kick returning, punt returning, so dynamic in the open field. Has the one that he takes all the way inside the 5, and ASU ends up, getting a good look there and punched it in eventually. But he was impressive today, and I thought he deserves kind of a shout out for his performance, along, of course, with all the negative things that came along with today's game.
Yeah, absolutely. And on top of that, you have to take a step back now, and you realize that ASU only has 3 more opportunities to become bowl eligible, do they not? And there's Oregon, Oregon State, and then University of Arizona game, or rather Oregon State, then Oregon, and then the U of A game. Where's that opportunity going to come, Andrew?
I think it comes in the Oregon State game. That's their best look, but Oregon State is no joke this year. I know a lot of people are used to kind of making their jokes a little bit about Oregon State, kind of the lower tier of the conference, but they're playing good football. They went down south to that school down there, and they took it to them a couple weeks ago. They're playing a good style of football right now. They really trust their offense. They can sling it around this year, and like I said, they're kind of a team that's going to be tough to play against, probably going to be cold up in Corvallis, so it's a tough opportunity, and it's been that way all year in this conference. There's been no give-me games. Even Washington State playing Oregon a couple weeks ago almost knocks them off. So there's no give-me games. U of A is obviously a rivalry game, and then Oregon's going to be a tough one here at home. So you got to put this in the rearview mirror, learn from those mistakes that you made, and then just go ahead and move forward, because there's no time to hang your head.
Well, Andrew, thanks so much. Follow at House of Sparky on Twitter for more highlights, updates, as well as stay tuned for Friday's newest edition of The House on houseofsparky.com.